This PBS broadcast was made possible by the generous support of the Slarty Bartfast Foundation and from viewers like you. Thank you. The Wilderness of Sin, an appropriate name for the birthplace of a nation of slaves. A people born out of the Red Sea, and now under a hard blue sky. Without God by our side, we wouldn't last a minute. Havilah, son of Jocham, 1450 BC. By the power of God, Moses led the Israelites through the Red Sea and into the vast wilderness of the Sinai Peninsula. With manna for breakfast and quail for dinner, the problem of finding food was soon forgotten, but not the problem of water.
Deserts are typically very dry. They have little to no water. Growing up in Midian, Moses would have known, due to his father-in-law, Jethro, that you typically need large amounts of water per day, and the whole group would need quite a bit of water, or else they would die from a thing called, you might have not heard of it, but dehydration. Deserts have one S in the word. If you put two S's in the word desert, you would be spelling dessert. And desserts don't typically need water, unless you have water with it as a beverage, like for your ice cream. Although some desserts, such as cupcakes or cakes, they use water as an ingredient. Deserts have no water. But desserts, they could. But they don't typically need it.
Why did Moses and Aaron lead us out of Egypt? Was he intending to kill us? The kids and the animals? All from a lack of thirst? Israelite bystander. Exodus 17:3.
In Rephidim, God told Moses to use his staff and strike a rock when they arrived at Horeb. Then they would have all the water they needed.
The rock at Horeb is a significant moment in the story of Moses and the Israelites. This is the desert we're talking about. There's no McDonald's in the desert, no dollar drink deals. You're up the creek without a creek really. And a rock, that's not normally where water comes from. Water usually comes out of the sink, from a tap.
But now, even with water and food, the Israelites were without the protection of Pharaoh and the armies of Egypt. They are alone and defenseless out in the wilderness.
The Amalekites were a nation of warriors. They, no doubt, saw Israel as a threat. The desert simply wasn't big enough for the two of them. Well, actually, it kind of was. It's a very big desert. I don't know why they attacked. Maybe they just didn't like them. I mean, it's a bunch of slaves. What would they do? Just beg for food?
Select some of our best men and go fight against the soldiers of Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand at the crest of that hill, overlooking the battle with God's staff in my hand. Moses, son of Abram, 1450 BC.
Moses stood on that mountaintop, and as long as Moses had his hands in the air, the Israelites prevailed on the battlefield below. But when Moses put his hands down, the Amalekites began to win. It was Aaron who had an idea.
If Moses' hands being up
means we win? Then let's keep 'em up. Aaron, son of Amram, 1415 BC.
In the battle against the Amalekites, God's strength prevailed. Remember, God gives us strength so we can trust Him.